Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, expect to see plenty of this over the next few days. We have got the 2x chance to get Void Champions, specifically Epics and Legendaries, coming up over the weekend. So I thought what I would do is actually do a quick and dirty through every faction. Which champions would I actually like to get and why? Yeah, so if you're pulling champions over the weekend and you pull yourself some Void champs, are they on the list? Did they make the cut of yes, I would actually use them, or do they not? I've got to say as well, it's weird. It's like the first time the portal has not been lit up in about 3 months. I don't know what to do with myself. And it's also worth saying that although it's a 2x chance over the weekend, you might still hold your shards because you might be thinking Wixwow actually looks decent as a fusion. Void shards will help you get there for things like summon rushes and champion chases. So, you know, unless you're someone who doesn't care about fusions or, you know, you just pull shards whenever you get shards, you know, this probably isn't for you. So, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. So we're just going to go through faction by faction and we're just going to call out the good Void champions and ones you should look out for. Baron, big damage dealer, has got one of the highest damage abilities for an AoE on his A3. He's pretty much an arena champion, or I would say he's good in areas like Doom Tower for clearing waves, but only until you get to maybe like halfway through hard Doom Tower. After that, he needs so much protection that he becomes a bit more useless. But certainly in the arena, he's still a big smack if you can keep him alive. Taras and Marishka are probably the two best Void champions in the game. Taras is one of the hardest hitting champions in the game, especially considering he doesn't really take damage himself. He's an HP, well, not say he doesn't take damage, but he's an HP-based nuker, and he's got this passive. All incoming damage from skills is reduced by 50%. Wow. Anyway, the passive is absolutely nuts, and he does insane damage because he does damage based on the amount of buffs on your team. And he doesn't, like, Seer rips buffs off to do damage. He leaves the buffs on. He's fine. He's insane. Marishka is kind of like his counterpart, and she's all about support. Revives, big heals, like absolutely crazy level of healing from her. Was it this one here? Heals 40% of this champion's max HP, restores destroyed max HP, puts out shields, puts out strength. Like, she's nuts as a support champion. And if she dies, everyone else comes alive. There's no cooldown on that. If you pick her back up and she dies again, everyone comes back to life again. She's nuts. Probably the most nuts support in the game. In terms of the epics in this faction, Salah's probably the only one I would call out. Good reviver, good support champion. AoE decreased attack as well. Good champ. The other three, very situational. Rowan does some poisons. Pretty trash, honestly. Azure, whatever. Warcaster can fit in some unkillable clan boss teams if you don't have better ways to do it. He's definitely not the best way to do it anymore, but he can do a job if you need a job. Not really anything here in rares that I would be too fussed about. High Elves. This is interesting because time gone by, I would have been like, Ethos, he's a great smack of a champion. He's been power prepped hard. Like, he's still good. If you get him, he's still going to hit hard, but he doesn't really bring a lot more. Bellinor got a buff to make him actually very strong now. He's got AoE, drop defense and weaken, and he's got some hard hitting abilities as well. Pretty damn good champ nowadays. Arbiter, obviously, we know about. We get her anyway as a sort of mission champion, but yeah, really good arena setup champ. Increased attack, increased turn meter, and revives. Supreme Elhain, again, just like a smack of a champion. She hits hard, but not much else going on. She's basically just an arena champ. The epics here, there's not really anyone that I would call out as like a, wow, look who you've just picked up. Andrissia's got some good, you know, like support stuff in arena once you get going. She's like a mini net crit once you get going, but quite hard to activate. Eflin does hit pretty hard. He's got self-buffing, double AoE hits. Block active skills is a great skill, in fairness, for wave-based content like Doom Tower waves or arena. So not a bad smacker if you pick him up. Reliquary Tender is still a good support, even at this moment, 5 years on into the game. For an early game account, she will be well worth taking to level 50 and, you know, doing revives for your team. And she's just generally decent. She's not good. She's not like great, but she's decent enough to do a job. Selena's one of the newer ones, and she's got quite an interesting kit because she's actually got HP burns, and she's got the ability to increase the duration of burns. She's quite a nice early game Hydra champion, actually. So early game Hydra, yeah, I would take her at least to 50. Okay, on to Sacred Order then. We've got Venus in here. Venus, if you own Cupidus, makes a great pairing, especially for Hydra or for the arena. Really cool pairing. On her own, she's still got AoE, drop defense, and weaken. She's still got poison. She's still got burns. So can't count her out. Cardiel's one of the best supports in the game. Bring in ally attack for your whole team. Bring in revive on death, block debuffs, cleansing. Lots of healing, actually, of his A1. He's a really, really good, top tier still, legendary, void legendary champion. Constantine is quite a hard nuke on, and he's got block revive, which can make him pretty relevant for a live arena. So pretty cool. Supreme Aphel just got a buff. She now hits hard. She always did hit hard, in fairness, but I still think she kind of lacks an element of the game that she really thrives in. In terms of the epics here, actually some good ones. Shamal, brilliant for Hydra. The Head of Torment goes away as being a problem when you've got Shamal in the team, so still really good for that role. Still see him in a lot of endgame teams for that role. And Godseeker, I mean, just like, she's got content that no one else can do that she does. Specifically Sand Devil. She's the only champion in the game that makes the grind from level 1 to level 25 easy. I have not found another way to make that grind easy other than Godseeker. Which, I mean, maybe with the nerfs they're going to do to Sand Devil that will change, but at the moment, she is that champion. In terms of rares here, nothing really to call out. They're okay. They're nothing too great. Barbarians then. Turvold's quite a big smack. He's used, or was used a bit in Arena to take down like Ultimate Death Knight teams because he double hits and he hits so damn hard. He'll kill whoever Ultimate Death Knight's trying to protect and then probably kill Ultimate Death Knight as well. He's very, very strong. I don't know if he's still used in that role, honestly. I've not played in like Plat Arena resets for a while, but definitely he was doing that job. He should be better than he is. Like, he should be in loads more content because he hits so damn hard, but there's not that much content where he really thrives, you know, to be like, yeah, bring him in. He's got loads of damage. He's still good as like the clan boss damage dealer in like an unkillable team, that type of role, but I don't see him used a lot. Saga's kind of gone out of fashion. Yakarl's good for, I mean, you can actually pick him up for fragments from the clan shop eventually, but good for hard finite. In fact, one of the best. Hits hard. He's a really good champ, actually. Hits hard. He's got a lot of utility. He's got AoE freezes. Definitely a good pickup. Tahanarak's a brilliant support champ. She's actually got increased defense and increased speed. And then she's got this kind of like AoE, if she's the first person to apply it, decreased attack, block buffs. She puts them out there and then she spreads them. And then she's also got she's got decreased speed as well. I guess the best thing about a kit, though, is her passive where she just cleanses off a layer of debuffs each turn. She's really good. She's really good. She's a great Hydra champ. Not really anyone that I would call out specifically brilliant on the epics here. And in the rares, same. No one I would call out as like, wow, I can't wait to build that champion out on a free-to-play or something. In terms of Ogryn Tribes then. Grazure, absolutely brilliant. Great Hydra champion. Again, he's got enemy max HP hits. He's got provokes. He's got great buffs. He's got healing, like in a Vodoff type of way. He's brilliant. Great champ. Togron's busted at the moment. I don't own him, but his A1's totally broken at the moment, and they're going to fix it. So I guess watch out if you're building him out for some of these crazy Hydra teams. He's going to change. And then in terms of the epics here, Maneater, still one of the most used champions in Clan Boss because of his unkillable abilities. He's a brilliant, brilliant epic. Generally in the game, he's a brilliant epic. In Clan Boss, he's like God level. Skrank, really good. Brings a lot of damage, brings AoE burn, which is quite unusual for an epic. Good champion, really good in Hydra, and generally, actually. Eurogrim's still a good AoE poisoner and healer, so definitely a good carry for like areas like Dragon, and as you're working your way through dungeons. Also in Clan Boss early on, he's pretty damn good as well. In terms of the rares, Bella was the one to call out, I guess. AoE smacks on all 3 hits. Still good if you pull him early in the game. He'll carry your early game really well. Gear Grinder actually is not a bad reviver for Faction Wars for this faction. Again, worth taking to 50 if you're struggling with Faction Wars a bit here. Let's look at the Lizards then. So good Lizards. So Chris still top tier in a bunch of content. Great Hydra champ, great clan boss champ if you don't have an unkillable. Good in the arena, but not like god tier like he used to be. Just generally, he's one of the best carries in the game. If you get him early, like he would carry your account super hard early on. Chador is good in Sand Devil for some speed teams. He's got the ability to keep putting stuff back to sleep because of his kind of like poison mechanic. He's annoying. He's annoying to play against, but I don't see him used a lot in like end game content. But if you pulled him early game, he'd probably just be like a full carry for your account. Tolfurion, really great champion. AoE burns in his kit. He's got shielding in his kit. He's got revives in his kit. There's actually so much going on. Turn meter fill when the burns are going out there. Like top tier and a really good Hydra champ. In terms of epics here, Broadmoor you can actually fuse. Pretty decent as a reviver and a turn meter filler. Scathix has got a good A3 ability with full cleanse, block debuffs and shield. The rest of his kit's kind of like whatever, but that A3 is really strong. Haruspex is okay early game, but not too much going on with the rares here. Skinwalkers then. Skinwalkers, we've got Tumisia, lots of damage with the A3 and an HP burn, which goes on for 3 turns, and it goes through Poison Cloud, so very good for Hydra, also pretty damn good on Spider. Leorius, great arena champion, has got the unkillable ability, so I still use him in like live arena and stuff like that. 2 AoE smacks, both hit really hard, and being Void, obviously he doesn't have any weak affinity stuff. Marius is one that we can only just pick up, so not any playtesting of him. In terms of the epics here, Basha is actually like a mini warlord. He's got a lockout ability, great for the arena, especially early game. Also like hard carry for Skinwalkers for faction wars and good in Doom Tower like levels as well. Just being able to lock out the enemy's abilities. If you time it right on this A2, this could be the difference between you getting through waves of enemies and not. Kentum is really good as well. It's got a unique ability in his passive that basically when poisons go off, it's as if you're hitting. So any of the sets that you're wearing that get hit abilities like lifesteal or stun sets and stuff like that, they go off, which makes a Kentum super good. Like really good in Sintranos, Waves, really good in Spider because he's also bringing Hex. Yeah, really good champ. Not too fussed about the others here or any of these. Orcs. Orcs have got the legendary Warlord, well known for just locking out enemies, used to be the go-to champion before more of these type of champs were introduced. Still really good though, brings shields, bring blocks, debuffs, locks out enemy waves, pushbacks, turn meter, like really good champ. Angar, still not great even after the buff. Rakar is a good reviver. She's got AoE revives. She's got a nice increased attack and shield as well. So she's a pretty good setup champ. She's very similar to Duchess, but got a slightly different type of revive. The thing she doesn't have, which Duchess does, is like inbuilt damage reduction, but still a really good revive champion. Supreme Gaelic, I use him in my best Hydra team that does like 300 million on Nightmare. Really good champion, like overlooked by a lot, I think. HP burn plus block debuffs or decreased speed on this A3 is such a good ability, honestly, for Hydra. He's a Hydra champ, really. I'd say through and through. Also good on Spider and some wave-based enemies, but yeah, definitely for Hydra, he's kind of top tier for me. He's got this ability here as well on his A2, which 4 hits at random, puts increased attack before going, but he's got the instantly activates burns that he's putting out. So he's just pushing that burn damage through the roof. And then he's got the ability to chance to increase burn durations here as well. Really good champ. In terms of epics, Seer, most people that have played this game for any length of time know that she's godlike. As I said about Taras, like she does insane damage with the A3. If she doesn't kill stuff, she puts it to sleep anyway. But she's your wave clearer in any wave-based content. Tulf, absolutely useless. Not much going on with those. And not much going on there either. Demonspawn then. Inifwe he's used a bit in live arena because he's got block revive and he hits for an okay level of damage. You really need like a super high geared, powered up Inifwe to do the right level of damage with him. But if you can, he's got block revive on every ability, which is cool for live arena. In terms of epics, Skimfoss, I had him in my free-to-play 2023, and he basically carried my dungeon teams big time, and some Doom Tower teams. His turn meter control is off the planet. Like, he's stealing turn meter which means that he goes again really quick. He's got turn meter reduction and decreased speed here, and he's got an AoE decreased attack. He's a really good champ. Umbral's still decent in places like Hydra with block buff ability. She's got it on a 3-turn, and it's up every 3 turns, so it's pretty damn solid. She's not used as much as she used to be, but she's also quite a hard carry for this faction for Faction Wars because of her block buffs and because of her provoke. In terms of the rares here, I mean, Fellhound's still a good campaign farmer, does a lot of damage with his A1, and will just constantly burn through waves if he's got the right sort of stats. Nothing else really going on here. Undeads. Sifi, still a godlike support. She's bringing turn meter, she's bringing block debuffs, she's bringing increased defense, she's got a revive. One of the best things about a kit actually is this ability just to remove some nasty debuffs off your team before your turn, before your guys go. And then she's got the 100% sleep, which makes her godlike in Sand Devil as it stands right now as well. Net crit, probably the best support that isn't a reviver in the game, especially for Arena. Like, anyone, so basically what happens is at the start of a turn, he's going to protect your lowest HP champion. Anyone that's protected is fairly unkillable, right? They're getting strengthened, they're getting ally protection. When they're being hit, they get this massive shield as well based on his HP. And then he brings things like ally attacks as well, decrease attack, which means he's actually useful in other content as well, but mainly a brilliant Arena champion. Actually, Euros you pick up from Doom Tower fairly early on hard. Great Scarab killer. Really good. Yeah, really good for that. Little Miss Annie, high damage dealer. Pretty good since her buff, actually. She's pretty solid now. Vlad, again, just a straight damage dealer with a bit of lockout. So he does have this block active skills now on his A3, which makes him kind of deadly in the right setups. Drop defense, drop active skills. Really good in like Doom Tower wave killing and stuff like that. In terms of the epics, Kafru's got some cool kind of synergies for like unkillable teams. I noticed it in this year's free-to-play. Plenty of people using Kafru here to build unkillable stuff. Rares here. Doomstreak is okay as a turn meter filler. Seduce is actually low-key cool for a rare. He's got, on a 4-turn, if you book it, block debuffs on a 4-turn. It's pretty rare to find that on a rare champion, like for 2 turns. This is quite a cool skill. This, a number of account takeovers that I used to do, this champion helped me get through Spider. It helped me get through Faction Wars. Like, it's surprising how much this champion does. AoE drop attack as well is kind of decent, but it's a small version. But yeah, he's better than most people think. That's probably about it for those. Dark Elves. Lydia, obviously, we pick up from Faction Wars. She's really good. AoE drop defense and weaken whilst giving you strength and increased speed. Visix, like, we get her as a free login champion. A lot of people overlook her. She's got 2 good hits. She's got AoE provoke. She's got AoE drop speed, ally protection. She's a good champion. Mithrala we get from Hydra, really good champion as well. Cleansing, shielding, poisons. Supreme Kale does a decent level of damage whilst also giving you like a real accuracy advantage. I would say I've got him and I don't use him a lot, but definitely if you pick him up as an early champion, then he's going to be great. Who else we got here? Sylar, really good turn meter control champion. Madame Suri, really good arena champion for like a mid-game team. Polymorph kind of killed Madame Suri pretty hard because she's doing so much stuff that could make her a sheep. But in the right setup, in a mid-game account, she's still god tier at ripping off buffs, replacing them with ways to make the enemy weak before your damage goes. In terms of rares here, okay, this is the faction with the rares. Coldheart, god tier, still user in teams, even though my account is fully stacked. Really good champ. She's got the enemy max HP A3, whilst it also drops turn meter. Just generally good champion. 4-hit A1, great for finite. Paragon, he still cheeses it up when you want him to. He's quite fiddly to use, but he can be permanently unkillable, which makes someone in your team very hard to kill, or him very hard to kill. Plenty of videos out there with Paragon helping on stuff like Phantom's Grove, Spider, like all sorts of areas Paragon can actually be really helpful. Nightmare Campaign. Painkeeper used a ton by endgame accounts because of her ability to decrease the cooldown of ally skills. She got heal as well. Really good rare. Okay, Night Revs. Night Revs, who we got? Solus, really hard-hitting defense-based champion. Brings some provokes as well. Pretty cool champ. Also brings some pretty meaty self-shielding. Hedgie, I don't really see Hedgie used anymore. Probably because Polymorph's so prevalent, but yeah, I mean, AoE hits, goes before anyone else, can lock out enemy skills. Still decent. Still decent. Forters, they buffed him. I actually use Forters as my Nightmare campaign farmer now. It's got like a, I don't know, 10-second or something. Nightmare 12-6 farm on him. Does some good damage. Very hard to set up for like his real potential, which is why he's not used a ton. Georgid's still one of the best arena nukers in the game, mainly because he ignores Stone Skin and any buff that's going to stop him doing damage. And if you kill someone, it goes again, and then he's got a good nuke on his A2 as well. But the ability to just wipe through someone in Stone Skin, which is probably normally the enemy's either reviver or their protection in some way, it makes him really great. Narcissus I now use as my main damage dealer for arena. He's brilliant. Such a good champion. He's super fun, especially if you've got Ankura to go alongside him. He's just got nukes for days, double hits. He's an HP-based champion, makes him hard to kill. Yeah, really good. In terms of the epics here, Whisper. I mean, Saf's in love with Whisper. She does a lot of damage in the right setup with the right blessing. I don't love her anywhere near as much as Saf, but Saf really loves her. Skull Crown still gives you a decent AoE nuke. Golden Reaper, a good turn meter champ. Not the best, I would say, but not bad. Renegade, a bit like Painkeeper, used a ton in endgame teams because of her ability to reduce the cooldown of skills. Not much else going on there. Okay, Dwarves. Dwarves. So Acrisia may be the best PvE champion in the game. Newt might have some words to say about that, but between these two, they're probably up there. AoE, enemy max HP hits, double trouble of those. She's got passives, which means she doesn't die very easily. She's super good. She's in my Hydra team for my like 300 million hitter, and she's the best damage dealer in that team by some way. But she's also used for me in a ton of Doom Tower teams. She's just so good. Torment, pretty annoying in the arena still, even to this day. Does some good damage. He's not top tier, I wouldn't say anymore, but he's definitely annoying and decent. In terms of epics, Demitha, a bit like Maneater, sets up really, really good unkillable clan boss teams. That's her best use case. Runekeeper's not bad as like a bit of a mini arbiter, I guess. Increased turn meter and increased attack. He's got cleanse and healing instead of revives, but pretty good still for like arena play and general content. Gala is used in some like live arena teams or arena setups because she's ignoring defense and stuff like that. I think she's quite niche. She has to be an extremely good build to be useful in that way. What else we got going on here? Early game Bulwark's pretty good for clan boss. Ability to extend debuffs whenever he's hit. Kurzad's kind of good early game as well, giving you accuracy boost whilst dropping the enemy defense, but he falls off quite quickly, honestly. Shadowkin. Riho's actually on the 10 times for this weekend. I don't have her. I would like her. She's one of the best champions to set up your damage for Sand Devil. Boozer actually did a good video today where he called out this could be a bit of a trap because we don't know what nerfs or what changes they're doing to Sand Devil, to Phantom's Grove, or to Iron Twins. She's particularly good in Iron Twins and Sand Devil. So although I would like her, it might be that she's not required in a couple of months whenever they do these changes. But we don't know what the changes are, so it's really hard to say. Yumiko is just like insane, locking out the enemy skills whilst refreshing your skills. She can also refresh her own skills if you've got two of her. It's disgusting. That should not be a thing, but it is a thing, and it makes her in these kind of silly Hydra teams. Shuzen is also in a lot of these crazy Hydra teams. I actually thought she did refresh skills as well, but she doesn't. She's got the ability to fill your turn meter, put increased speed on you and decrease speed on an enemy. That makes her really good for Hydra and the arena. But then she's got this. So she targets an ally and basically gives them a ton of buffs and then says, off you go, your turn. Yeah, so that's where she's coming in so strong in these Hydra teams because she's forcing your damage dealers to just go again. Or maybe she's forcing... I guess it must be your damage dealer that is how she's being used. But super cool ability here. Yeah, and then she's got this accuracy boost as well. But she's used in very high-end Hydra stuff just to activate your champions. In terms of epics here, Gembo is a good damage dealer for like arena and stuff like that. Aboro is actually kind of good damage dealer for Hydra as well in the right setup. Not much going on with the res. So last faction and Sylvan Watchers, not too many legendaries in here. Clydena's kind of was built for Sand Devil. She might end up being relevant again when they made the change, but at the moment I feel like she's pretty irrelevant. Emmik's a good champion. We always knew when he came out as a fusion he was going to be in a bunch of teams, just because he's got very unique abilities, like this ability to cool down skills, the unkillable ability, and we're seeing him now in tons of teams across the game, honestly. Really good Void legendary. Alil, damage dealer, does have the ability to ignore Stone Skin. Still doesn't really hit hard enough with this skill, even though he's been buffed. So still not quite cutting it. But, you know, if he's the first Void legendary you pick up, he's going to be in every team you got. So it's all relevant to where you are in the game. Nia's kind of similar to that. You know, in the free-to-play, really apparent that she was hard carrying newer accounts on stuff like Clan Boss. If you're comfortable to manual, she's quite difficult to use on auto, but on manual, she's brilliant. Like her A2, cleanse, heal, and reduce the cooldown of skills. That's so good in Void, in Doom Tower, in Clan Boss, in Hydra, like loads of areas of the game. But she does it in a bit of a wonky way, so you kind of have to manual this skill to get the most out of it. She's also bringing ally protection and strengthen, and AoE decreased speed. She's a really good champion. And then that is going to be it. So good luck if you do pull shards over the weekend, but just remember, we've got this fusion coming up who looks like he's going to be pretty damn sweet. So your choice. Anyway, I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you soon.